Should we just search romantic comedies on Netflix and then see what we find?
So today it's all about film and television. So I'm going to start straight off with things that I've seen recently at the cinema. And I'm going to go first to The Gentleman, which is Guy Ritchie's new film, which also has Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam and Hugh Grant in, just to name but a few. Now this film, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it was brilliant. And to be honest with you, I can't see something topping this for my film of the year, because it's just really, really good. I mean, it's got some great comedy, it's perfectly cast, it's just got that right amount of edge of your seat, what's happening next, sort of gruesome me bits, bit of violence in it. It's just got everything in it, and it's really, really good. If you haven't been to see this at the cinema yet, definitely go, because it is fantastic. Now, I did say this to a friend of mine, and he was like, no, Bad Boys is going to be the film of the year. And yeah, I know it's come out. I haven't seen it yet, and I will be going to go and see it soon, hopefully, touch wood. But The Gentleman is just a different kind of film, to what I'm expecting that to be, obviously. And it is a Guy Ritchie film, and it's very, very good. And there are some brilliant. I don't want to give anything away. And like, if I even say like anything, it's going to give away, not give away the storyline, but it's going to give away like sort of funny things that when they happen, you'll be like, oh yeah, well, I kind of knew that was coming, and I don't want to do that. But definitely, if you've not been to see The Gentleman yet, definitely go and see it, because it really is fantastic. And I would say that Hugh Grant is at his best in this role, which is not his typical role. Matthew McConaughey is also absolutely brilliant, and so is Charlie Hunnam. I mean, he's just absolutely phenomenal in it as well. It's just, the whole cast is just absolutely brilliant. The storyline's brilliant, and to be fair, the way they've left it, there could be further films. So if they do go down that line, I think that could be quite good as well. So there's certainly more that could be done. So let's move swiftly on to our second film of this particular chat, and that is 1917, the war epic. Now, it's been bannered about, that this is an epic film, and it most certainly lives up to the hype. It is a very, very good film. Again, the casting is spot on, the story is very good. The drama and intensity in it, and the edge of your seat, what's going to happen next, is all there. All the action, all the suspense, just everything there for the kind of film that it is. It is telling you a story, and it invests you in that story. It takes you along for the ride on it, and you do get involved within the characters that are in there, and following them, and like what is going to happen next, and what is going to happen to them, and are things going to work out how they're supposed to, and what's going to happen next. And it is a true epic drama, that is for sure. I mean, it's very good. The effects in it are very good. It's a film that's been really well put together. Definitely, if you haven't been to see that one yet, also go and see it, because it's very, very good. Very good. Very good. I say very good far too often, but that is, and again, it is a very good film. It is sort of, it goes along the lines of the sort of things that you would expect, obviously, because it's telling a story. You already know what it's telling a story about. It is a war film, but it's, there are good war films, there are average war films, and there are bad war films, and this is definitely one of the good ones, so definitely worth a watch. So now I'm going to move on to something available on DVD. Now I know most people don't download now, but I still buy DVDs, or I get them for Christmas. This is the one I got for Christmas. Here it is. You can't see it if you're on my podcast. Detective Pikachu. Now, I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to be, as good as it was, but again, it's really well done. It's just a fun film. It really is. It's just It's got everything you would expect from this kind of film. It is one that, you know, you can watch as an adult and as a kid. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've spoken to a couple of friends of mine as well, and they, you know, they said equally they enjoyed it as well and were, you know, surprised by it. So it is very good. I know when it came out there were some ums and ahs about certain things. I mean, I don't generally tend not to pay any attention to those. You know, I generally find, you know, I don't pay any attention to critics and things like that. I mean, I actually believe The Gentleman, I think it was, actually didn't get great reviews. Why, I don't know, because it's fantastic. Sorry, I'm going back to that. But no, Detective Pikachu, if you're a Pokemon fan, you're going to like it. If you've got kids, they're going to like it. And if you're an adult, give it a whirl, because you're probably going to like it too, because it's just that kind of film. It's just a fun film, a little bit of, you know, sort of, you know, the usual sort of suspense and drama and relationshipy stuff, you know, oh, we know, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it is very good. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to sort of, you know, I'm not trying to give anything away. I mean, actually this week, everything I'm going to talk about, I've not really seen anything I haven't enjoyed recently. So that is good. Now, next is I'm going to move on to something from Netflix. Now, it's been out on Netflix for quite a while. I believe it's in season 2. Now, I'm only actually watching season 1 at the moment. And that is The Umbrella Academy. Now, this is a truly weird series. And it really is very strange and it shouldn't work. But somehow it does. And it's not just because it's weird. But the casting, again, the casting for this, whoever did the casting for this should get an award if they haven't already. The casting is great. But what really, really, really pulls everything together is the music. The music in this series is absolutely spot on. It is just brilliant. Every bit of music to every sort of scene where where there's something involved, you know, with music in it is good, you know. And I found myself like watching this show and actually enjoying the music in it as much as I'm enjoying the show. And like I say, it's a very, very strange show. If you like things that are a bit out there and a bit weird, this is definitely going to be one for you. Lots of people have told me to watch it and I hadn't got round to it, and then I had some time, so I have got round to it. It is very good, and I do enjoy it. And yeah, I don't really know what more to say. It's just quirky, it's weird. Yeah, go and give it a whirl. Sticking with Netflix, Sex Education, it has got its second season out. Now, I was a big fan of the first season. They haven't disappointed with the second season. I'm not sure where they're going to go with the third, because of how they've ended it. There's certain things that have happened and you kind of think, oh, well, okay, well, that's interesting. It's what is going to happen next. But again, if you have seen the first season, the second one isn't going to disappoint. And if you haven't seen the first season yet, what's been stopping you? Get out there. That's all I'm going to say about that. So now, moving on to my next program. Now this is on Sky. Now, I was a huge fan of Magnum P.I. Now, the original series was out in the 80s. It had Tom Selleck in it and a number of other people. And it is back in a modern form. We've just hit season 2. Now, I did watch season 1. I thought it was okay. And I've started watching season 2. And yeah, you know, again, I think it's okay. It's not bad. The thing about the original one is it had just that right amount of cheesiness about it to be cool. The car was iconic, and Tom Selleck was just, well, he's Tom Selleck. He's cool. He's one of the few people that can carry off a mustache and do it well. The only other person I think is probably Nigel Mansell, but that's a whole different conversation. The new one, it's good. I don't think it's ever going to be sort of an iconic show. I don't think it's ever going to have the same kind of feeling that the 80s show did. You know, the acting and everything is fine, the casting and it is fine. And it's dubious about them sort of turning Higgins into a woman, you know. you know, if you kind of forget the original one, then it does work. But if you are a fan of the original one, I think you it leads to questions of sort of why has it been done. And I understand, you know, obviously there is this sort of focus now on obviously making a lot of things, what's the word, not more inclusive, but you know, having, you know, a better selection of people playing, so you know, roles across the board of most things. But you know, I think if you want a good strong female lead or whatever else, then write them, you know, write a show for that, because that is so much better than just, you know, saying, okay, well, this character used to be a guy, but we're going to make it a woman. You know, I think that's selling women short, to be fair. I think it's doing a disservice, because, you know, write them something. It's not, you know, well, I suppose it is difficult, but, you know, that's what we need to be pushing more, I think. But overall, you know, if you discount the original, it is very good. Again, the relationship between the two sort of main characters, they've changed that quite a lot. And it does work for the show, for the modern version of the show. Again, if you're a fan of the original one, you may think, not really as keen on it, just because in the original there was sort of this, there was respect and they did work together begrudgingly, you know, but sort of they would never say they enjoyed working together and things like that. You know, there was always sort of a tension, and while there is a tension in this new one, like the fact that they're becoming sort of closer together in this working relationship and things is sort of very different to the original. So it depends on whether or not you want it to be like the original or not. If you're looking for a true revamp of the original, you're going to be disappointed. That isn't what it is. If you want to just take something on face value and say, okay, yes, it's got the same name as that, but really it's a completely different show, then yeah, it's not too bad, you know, and I have enjoyed it. It is good. But if you are an absolute die-hard purist and you want it to be like the original, you're not going to find it here. Just buy the original on DVD, which I also have done. But, you know, I like the new show. I like the cast. I think it does work. But, you know, if you're an absolute, this is what I want for my Magnum PI, then you are going to be disappointed, probably. And then, finally, we move on to Amazon. Now, I don't normally have Amazon, because having to have all these different, you know, Netflix and Sky and whatever else, it starts getting stupidly expensive. So I tend not to have them all. However, this being said, I do currently have a Amazon Prime account, because there is a new Star Trek. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I am a bit of a nerd, and I am definitely a bit of a Trekkie. And my favourite Star Trek series was The Next Generation. So, it is no surprise that when Star Trek Picard was announced it was coming on Amazon, it was something I was obviously going to have. Now, we've only had the first 2 episodes so far. Now, I've seen a lot of mixed comments about it. Like I said, I tend not to try and pay too much attention to them. You know, because I prefer to make up my own mind about things, which is why I tend not to really look at those things. Which is kind of definitely saying that when I'm actually here doing exactly what I say I don't listen to. But anyway. So, Star Trek Picard has launched. It has launched on Amazon. Like I say, we've had 2 episodes. It is a tough one, because it is a bit of a slow starter, but at the same time, it is one of these things that with every bit that you find out, you're asking more questions. Now, I think I may have already figured out the premise. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I think is going to happen, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. just in case you haven't got there yet. And of course, I could be wrong, so I don't want to look like an idiot. But I'm sure if when we get to that stage, I will reveal whether or not I was right or wrong. And I will be honest, if I was wrong, I will tell you I was wrong. Yeah, it's kind of a slow burner. And the trouble is as well, from the trailer, you know there are going to be cameos by certain people. So you're sort of wondering when they're going to drop into it and how they're going to fit in and what's going to happen. And, you know, depending on obviously how much you like Star Trek, that can be a bit exciting as well. I'm finding it very exciting. So, you know, some people have said it's a bit slow. Some people have just said they don't like it. Some people have said they love it. Personally, I like it. I think it's going okay so far. It's going to be dependent on sort of what they do with it. I mean, with Star Trek, the original series is just, it's cool, it's iconic, it's classic, it's great. The Next Generation is probably my favourite. I was always a fan of Voyager. I liked Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway. I was disappointed with Deep Space Nine. Avery Brooks is a great actor, but it had some good episodes, but for the most part, the whole emissary thing and the war thing more, you know, just like, the whole thing was just set around like a very big, long war, and I just found that boring. That didn't really do anything for me. Discovery, I was on the fence about. Enterprise, obviously, that came after Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Enterprise, I had great hopes for it when it first started, and sort of it looked like it was going to be okay. But then they sort of went back down that Deep Space Nine route with, oh, well, let's have a war sort of thing. And that's when I kind of really just lost interest, because it's like, no, just that kind of thing, it just bored me, really. I just didn't find it very good. You know, don't get me wrong, it still had good episodes and whatever else, but I found that a bit... So... I think with Picard, it's going to be dependent on where they take it. If they do take it to sort of more of a next generation-y Star Trek original series kind of feel, where, you know, there may be groups or, you know, of people that they don't exactly, shall we say, get on with. You know, and obviously there's going to be fights and arguments, but it's not going to be just one big, long, drawn-out sort of war. Which I don't think this is going to be that, because obviously it's based around one person, as opposed to obviously. But you know, it's difficult to say. I mean, so far I'm liking it. So far I think it's worth a watch. I think if you are a Star Trek fan, I think you should probably like it. It's interesting to see the fact that they sort of, because obviously the new Star Trek films with Chris Pine, I want to say, yes, are sort of following a different timeline as to the Next Generation's Voyager sort of timeline, but this is sort of now sort of lining up with that, because there are some similarities in some of the things that have happened. Without wanting to give too much away, if you've not seen it yet. But yeah, so it is interesting, certainly, and I think they can do some good things with it. It's nice to see Patrick Stewart, you know, back in that role, albeit a little bit older than he once was. You know, he's still a fantastic actor, so, you know, it's good. And I think the fact that he's now well, it's going to be obvious anyway that he's now, you know, sort of in retirement, and a certain set of events happen that start us on this journey. So it is going to be certainly very interesting to see where it leads us. I think that is really it for today. Not overly joyful or anything like that. It's very difficult to talk about things without sort of giving things away. And normally I would try and give away sort of maybe just like, you know, this bit's funny or look out for this bit. But I genuinely think that with some of these films and that, if you were to do that, it would ruin that particular moment. So I'm not going to say too much more about pretty much any of it really, but I would definitely say go and see The Gentleman, go and see 1917. Have a look at Detective Pikachu if you think that might be your thing. Again, and then we've got 3 obviously TV shows there for you to watch. Some 4 even 4 TV shows. I can't count now. It's been a long week. So there are some things there for your viewing pleasure to have a look at. So anyway, that's all from me today. I've probably spoken far too fast as usual, but thank you very much for listening, watching, or whatever format I'm sending this, you're listening or seeing this in, and I will be back soon.